where did this dream of becoming a UFC champion come from when you're 16 years old living in Italy? Where does it come from?
I mean, I just, I was always like a little bit of a, I always loved contact sports. I was always super competitive in everything. I would just make that's why it always was kind of hard to have friends as a kid for me. Like I was always making competitions. I could never take like anything just like lightly in a sense. And then growing up, I was always getting into fights and stuff. And then I was like, man, I want to see like if there's a sport where I can do these things, And I saw this, and then I started watching YouTube, and I remember like watching like, Wanderlei was the craziest other in the world at the time, I think. And he just like, and then more than everybody, I like the first fighter that I've seen was Fader, and after that, I just got carried away by like. By what they were doing, and I'm like, man, these guys are superhumans, and I want to do that too. So that, and then I just started training. I love the sport, and I never stopped, and I became obsessed with it. And then I was like, I want to be the best, because I don't know. I mean, it's something that you have inside or not, but whatever I do, I want to be the best at it, And if I can, I'll strive to be the best. But in this, I'll be the best. And so, and then I kept going, and I gave up everything to just follow this dream of mine.
Do you think it adds anything to your drive, or like, does it make you more dangerous, the fact that you've come where you come from? And what I mean by that is like maybe it's just in my head because I talked to Valentina Shevchenko about it, but she said, in order for me to like grow as a martial artist and to get the best opportunities, I had to leave my home. Like I had to leave. I had to go to Peru. I had to go to Texas. I had to go to Las Vegas. You've done the same thing. You left your home in Italy. You went to London. Then you went to LA. Like, is there a different sort of sacrifice that you've made for this? And does it make you more dangerous?
For sure. Like, I think I would have had that regardless of where I would be in the world, like this sense of urgency of just getting better, just not wasting time, just, just becoming the best in the world. But the fact that I left, and I always say this, from day one, I always had to work to get the work. The work was almost a reward. Like I had to go places, I had to drive hours and hours, I had to make all the sacrifices just to get the work. I would just show up sometimes exhausted from like 3-4 hours of driving back home sometimes in the beginning in Italy, to then train and then go maybe another 3-4 hours back home, just so I could just train with higher level guys than me and just get something. And then when I left to London, man, I left to London at 19, coming from a small village, didn't even know what. But what I'm saying is, like, I've always been in these places just for one reason. And the way I am, I cannot forget that. I cannot forget that. I wake up in the morning, I feel like I'm not in the place where I would like to be, but I'm just there because of what I want to do. And so you cannot have bigger drive than that. Like, you're like, I'm not in the place where I want to be. I'm just here because of that. You cannot forget that. Like, that's the biggest reminder of everything else, between everything else in the world. You just like, I'm here, I'm gonna go after it, because if I'm here, there's a very good reason,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, earlier you said that you had a hard time letting things go, and you were it sounded like you got into fights when you were a kid, and you have a lot of you wear your emotions on your sleeve during fight week too, which I think is going to be fun to watch, because Israel likes to play some mind games sometimes during fight week, and you're known to get like, is Marvin angry? Is Marvin getting emotional? Like, those are the types of things we talk about during fight week. Are you what are you expecting out of the mind games over the last 72 hours before this fight happens?
It's funny because I don't know, like whenever it gets into the area of fighting, I act differently. I act differently, and that's why, like, I don't know, I act differently. So I won't let him dictate any frame of the discussion, like, I'm really aware of this mental game. So we'll see. I think I'll, he won't like what he'll hear, and then the way I'll respond to him. But I'll welcome that, because I like that too. So plus I'm gonna enjoy the moment, because I've never been in like a press conference, so this is actually gonna be my first time.
Oh.
And you know, I'll have a few good arguments, so I'll welcome that. But we'll see. We'll see. I never plan these things too much. Like, you know, I'll have a few things that I know. You know, I'm not gonna go unprepared. That's not my style. But I'm never gonna, like, you know, at the end of the day, even Napoleon said this. You know, he said, like, you know, like they would ask him, how do you go into war? How are you so good in wars? They're like, well, we go in and then we'll see what happens. You know, the best thing is, the best ability that a fighter can have is to go in and have and being the best at adapting at things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that you can't teach too much. That will come throughout experience. That will come throughout you developing your skills and stuff. So, you know, I'll be prepared, but I'll see. You know, I'll adapt in there. You know, as much as I will adapt in a fight. You know, I'll see. Fight week to me. It's the fight already has already started in a sense. So it'll be fun, man.
What is the one thing that you remember the most about the first fight?
To be honest, I remember him being sweaty as hell and like slippery, like having to like being able to just like move my grips because he was so like skinny and slippery. So even all this camp, I've been just training shirtless on everything that I did, and every grappling, everything, you know, because it's different when you have a shirt, when you have like a grip on shorts and stuff. It's different than like being like shirtless and with a lot of sweat on. So plus he's skinny, and so the grips feels different, you know. Sometimes I go with bigger guys and I know they might be like heavier and stuff, but you have more to hold on. Meanwhile, with him, it's skinny and it's slippery. So that I remember a lot when, you know, in the grappling exchanges.
Did you learn anything that you didn't know about Izzy from watching the Jan Blachowicz fight?
Yeah, but in a bad way for him. Like, I think you know, like his timing and his speed, maybe it was given by the weight. He hasn't even looked that great, to be honest, in his last fight. And then you know, Jan Blachowicz is not considered the most skillful guy, even though a lot of it is just given by the fact that there's not so much height behind him. But he is skilled, but he's not like considered as the most skillful guy. And he was able to deal perfectly with like you know, Israel jab, Israel like kicks, and you know, so that I took, you know, they're like, you know, like I knew already, but that was a confirmation of the fact that it's like, you know, this guy just, he's good, but like he doesn't have that crazy timing. Like, you know, he's not Terrence Crawford in boxing. He's not Floyd Mayweather. It's not these guys. He's not these guys. And he, you know, I don't give a f- people don't realize it, but I know. And so that.
This sport loves predictions, man. Do you have a prediction on how this fight ends?
I want to finish this guy, man. I really want to finish this guy, Israel, and, you know, like just like, you know, like leave no doubt. And I think I can. But if not, you know, he's solid. You know, he's solid in his way of fighting. He's solid. You know, he's, like I said, he's slippery. He's able to get away from position. So he'll, you know. But if not, I just beat him every round. I can't let any round get close. You know, I can't let any round be close. I'll bring the fight for sure.
You look loose. You look confident. You look like you're ready to go. And like you said, we're only 10 days away. You got Nate Diaz fighting Leon Edwards that night. You got Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno. It's going to be a fun night for the
That's
sport.
crazy.
I know I'm going to enjoy
Having
it.
Nate Diaz in my undercard that's crazy.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, it's a friend of, you know, I know Nate is a friend of mine, and you know, like Nate, it was always like, you know, a guy that I was always looking up to, and you know, having in my undercard just feels real, you know.
Yeah, no, it should be a fun week, and I'm looking forward to that press conference, your first one in the UFC. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the fight goes, man. Best of luck, and we'll see you next week in Phoenix.
Thank you, Brett. See you.